What's up, guys? It's me, the AOLE Double X Prince. I haven't done this part in a while, but yes, I'm back with the rebooking series. This time it will be WrestleMania 9. Yes, WrestleMania 9 is personally my least favorite WrestleMania. I hate it more than 11 because at least 11 they had passable matches. The best match ended in a count out in the original card. Yeah, with 11 at least you had some decent with Jared and Ramon. Which, anyways, I'm gonna rebook anyways, so I'll get to that one next. But this ain't about that WrestleMania. This is about WrestleMania 9. Um, so I even booked like little storylines in between all of these matches because I feel like some people say that I lack at telling stories. So my apologies if so. Anyways, here is my card. It will basically, the thing I would keep the same is Shawn Michaels versus Tatanka opening the show. I think it was a great opener, but I would not have it end in a count out. I would actually have Shawn Michaels beat Tatanka clean for the Intercontinental Championship. It will make Shawn look strong, and it will give Tatanka a good match to have. So there is that. Next match, Owen. Hart. I'll get to Owen Hart when I get to him. Money Inc. versus the Steiner brothers for the WWF Tag Team Championships. This will be a fun little match. Ted DiBiase, IRS, and the Steiner brothers. I mean, the Steiners are easily one of my favorite tag teams of all time. All the way. These guys are legends, and this will be their breakout moment. It's time for a change in the new generation, because this was going to be the beginning of the new generation era, which failed. But it will be a pretty great way to have two great back-to-back matches in the same, back-to-back matches in like the same hour or something. I forgot how long the show was, like 3.5 hours or some shit. Next up, next match I would have is, oh wait, this is the wrong card. Yokozuna against an American hero. Now, the reason why I say that is because you're thinking, who could be a good American hero? Could it be Hulk Hogan? I haven't booked in a match. Should I have Lex Luger? I haven't booked in another match too. I'll have Yokozuna versus Bob Backlund. Basically, Japan is taking over. Yokozuna, basically typical stuff of Yokozuna. I had to put Yokozuna in here just to be fair. Plus, Bob Backlund didn't. I had anything left for Bob Backlund here. And I was thinking to myself, why would I throw a little squash match in WrestleMania? Then I thought about something cool. Bob Backlund's finisher is the cross-face chicken wing. Let's play a story that Bob Backlund is trying so hard to put the cross-face chicken wing on Yokozuna, because that is the only thing that is stopping him. He believes if he could put the cross-face chicken wing, he could beat Yokozuna. They play off that story over like the next episodes. So Rocky keeps trying to put it in, but he can't. And sure enough, at WrestleMania, he puts the crossface chicken wing on Yokozuna. It'll get a pop. Yokozuna slowly passing out, but then he picks up Bob Backlund, slams him, and wins the match. Boos, boos, boos. Yes. See, the thing about this, it will help Yokozuna be really, really good heel. And plus, Bob Backlund is already established. He doesn't need a victory at WrestleMania at this point. And I think it will be the best way to just have Yokozuna look strong. And Bob Backlund, I believe he was out of here after, not long after this. So, it's what I did. Next up, I really had nothing for these two guys, but I did put him in a match. I have Brutus the Barber Beefcake versus Mr. Perfect. Now, you guys might give me shit for what I'm about to say, because I was thinking, what kind of story would these guys have? And then I thought about it. The 90s was just a silly time, and they just kind of threw people in there just cuz. And I just decided to just go out and have fun with this one. I'd basically have Mr. Perfect ready to get a haircut. Brutus the Barber Beefcake happens to be the barber. He cuts his hair fucked up. And that would be the story. Mr. Perfect is pissed off at Brutus the Barber Beefcake, like, how dare you mess with my hair? It was so, no pun intended, perfect. But yeah, it will basically be that little story, and I think it could actually be a good match. Brutus the Barber Beefcake wasn't that bad in the ring, and Mr. Perfect, he was just perfect. So it could be a new start of Mr. Perfect with a new haircut and everything, and Brutus the Barber Beefcake, you know, it could be a stepping point for him into the mid cards, because I actually do like Brutus the Barber Beefcake. I know some people don't like him. I don't know his backstory. I don't know if he's, accused of steroids and shit like this, but it's what it is. So yeah, perfect Beefcake. I think it would just be a nice little match, and it's a silly storyline, but a fun match to have. The next 4 are the main events. The 4 main events for my show. Again, I have 8 matches here, but here is the next one. I have Owen Hart versus Bam Bam Bigelow in a number 1 contenders match. What more can I say? Owen Hart versus Bam Bam Bigelow all the way. Who goes over? Bam Bam Bigelow. I think he could be a possible contender. Owen Hart does look strong here. So basically, the reason why I gave the victory to Bam Bam Bigelow instead of Owen Hart is because this could be the starting point of the Owen Hart Bret Hart feud down the road at WrestleMania 10. And when I get to Bret Hart, you'll see what I mean. So, yeah, Bam Bam Bigelow, Owen Hart. Let's just go have a great match. I think these guys could have one of the best matches of the show, honestly, because Bam Bam Bigelow is one of those big men that were actually talented in the ring. I remember this guy being really talented. He had granted, he has to have the right opponent, and I think Owen is one of those guys. He had an amazing match at King of the Ring with Bret the Hitman Hart, so I expect no different here. So that's just my personal opinion. I don't know what else you guys think about it. Sorry, I'm uploading the next video. Just give me a second. I'm actually gonna pause this. All right, next match I have for WrestleMania 9 that I rebooked. Undertaker. I decided to put him with Razor Ramon. I never got a chance to see this match. I don't know if this match ever happened, but if it hasn't, well, now we definitely will never forget if it happened at WrestleMania. And this could be the starting point of Undertaker actually having good matches, because I remember in his early career he had some of the shittiest matches of all time. King Kong Bundy, freaking Kamala, Yokozuna, Giant Gonzalez, he fought in this show. And no, it would not end in a disqualification. If anything, I would actually have the outside tombstone, make it a mark-out moment again, and then another tombstone in the ring, and Undertaker beats Razor. And this could be, again, Razor could carry Undertaker to a good match at this point, showing us that Undertaker actually is a talented guy. So there's my opinion there. Now this next match might be controversial to some people, but it is a match that I've been dying to see. And I think we've gotten a WCW version of this match, but I wanted the WWE version of this match. That is Hulk Hogan versus Lex Luger. Now, I hate Lex Luger. I agree with you guys. Everything you guys said about Lex Luger. There's theories going on that Elizabeth died in his house. So if that's the case, I understand why people hate Luger so much. I'm right there with you guys. With that said, he really sucked in the WWF, WWE, whatever you want to call it. But if he was booked to be the next Hulk Hogan, why don't you put him in the ring with the Hulk Hogan? If he was going to come back, it would be perfect. Lex Luger, Hulk Hogan, this is a match I've been dying to see. Again, we've had it at WCW, but it just wasn't the same. Granted, Lex Luger was far much better in WCW than he ever was in the WWF. Hell, you could even say Lex Luger deserves to be in the WCW Hall of Fame if there was a WCW still. But yeah, Hulk Hogan and Lex Luger, it won't be the best match, but it's one of those things where I believe the the crowd could carry it and just the excitement going into it. So Lex Luger and Hulk Hogan, it's just a perfectly well done match. And then I'll talk about more about my future plans, which I hate doing stuff planned for the future, but it's just like a thing I do naturally. So yeah. And no, I wouldn't make this the main event. Let's have a twist for once. Like, oh shit, Hulk Hogan is not main eventing WrestleMania. Then yes, finally, two young bucks. Well, at the time they were young, of course. But two guys who definitely deserve a main event. Bret the Hitman Hart defends his WWF Championship against the Royal Rumble winner, Macho Man Randy Savage. Yes. Randy Savage was on commentary. He clearly deserved to be in the main event. I was going to do Hogan and Bret, but I thought about Luger and Hogan of how much nostalgia that would make other people feel, like how much nostalgia that would have been. I didn't even mention who would win Hogan and Luger. I would pick Luger. I mean, usually at this point, I was just sick and tired of Hogan. I would want something new. But if Hogan winning wouldn't be that bad because, I would have Hogan win because of the plans I have for the next WrestleMania. And I'll talk about them briefly. But let's get back to Bret the Hitman Hart and the Macho Man Randy Savage. Macho Man finally gets the main event. The first time he ever main evented WrestleMania since WrestleMania 5. Bret the Hitman Hart, the young upcoming champion. He walks in as champion. Can he hang with some of the top guys? Well, no, not yet. I would have Macho Man win, have a big WrestleMania moment for once. Once again, since WrestleMania 4, he hasn't had a big moment like this in the main event of a WrestleMania. Obviously, he had his big moment at 7, but Macho Man wins the WWF Championship. He holds it until, I want to say maybe King of the Ring or something like that. Let's just say it's a pretty solid run. Anyways, with that said, back to the Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble happens. Luger and Bret win the Royal Rumble. Two guys who clearly thought they could hang with the top guys. They become the final two in the Royal Rumble, but they both sadly get eliminated, causing chaos, which that means they have like the same story of Lex Luger fights the champion the first time, and then Bret Hart fights in the main event, plus the Owen Hart match. After losing the WWF Championship, Bret Hart believes he just couldn't hang anymore, and he goes back to the mid card. But that's when people really want him to be in the main event. That's why WrestleMania 10, it will make that moment much bigger. So I'm just thinking long terms of just how I could book stuff just to still keep it relevant to the upcoming WrestleMania. Having Yokozuna be the WWF Championship, I really don't care at that point. You could have Macho Man again for all I care. He could be a 1 year long champion once again, or whatever you want to say. Whatever you want. But yeah, Bret Hart, Randy Savage should have main evented WrestleMania 9. It was just perfect. It was just so stupid that Macho Man pinned Yokozuna in the Royal Rumble match. Yokozuna pushes him out. It was just really stupid. But this would be definitely what I would book for WrestleMania 9. What are your guys' opinions? Share your thoughts. Next up, I will be reviewing WrestleMania 11, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, it's me, the ALE XX Prince. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Until then, I'm out.